Sometimes I see people that say, you know what, I'm not smart enough to be able to do what you do, Wyatt. And the harsh reality is that I am really not as smart as people think. And maybe my wife thinks not, but my wife knows that. We'll say that. Yes, I have made money in real estate, and I've made money at a young age in real estate. But the truth of the matter is I got a 19 on my ACT score. And then I studied, and I studied really hard, and I got a 21. And that was good enough to get me into the college that I wanted to get an athletic scholarship. But I am no smarter than anyone else. In fact, I actually look back and I see a lot of my peers that were a lot smarter than me. What ended up happening to me right after I got done with college and I realized I wasn't going to the NBA was that I failed at my first job. Again, because I was not smart enough to figure it out on my own. I was in a sales job and I was wasting so much time trying to figure out how to be good at sales, but without a blueprint. I did not know how to do it. So I went out there and I failed and I failed and I failed. I was so broke. I was living with 3 dudes in a rental, and I was so broke I Airbnb'd my bedroom and slept on the couch just so that I could pay rent. So needless to say, I was not that smart, but I was a little resourceful. However, I took a job in Omaha, Nebraska, and I got decent at sales not because I was good, but because I plugged into a system. And so the company I took a job at, they were doing $100 million a year in sales. So they knew how to teach sales. My manager knew how to develop and train salesmen. So all I did was I got scripts and frameworks, I got leads, and then I went out there and I practiced and I got decent. The first year, I was bottom of the barrel. The next year, I was in the top third of the company. And then the year after that, I was the top of the company in every year since. Now, it's not because I'm that smart, but I just ripped off and duplicated a system. So systems are what life is ran on. Once I had a decent sized portfolio, I left my job and I started a property management company to manage the portfolio in-house. Now, that began the toughest part of my life. I literally in 2022 passed out 4 times from stress because I had no systems. I was running everything within the system, not knowing how the system worked, and then I tried to hire it out. And the worst part about it was that I would bring someone on and I would train them. And I would spend so much time showing them what to do, how to do leasing, how to do renewals, how to do bookkeeping, all of these things. I train them how to do it. And then the most frustrating thing would happen is they would leave. And I was back to square one with literally nothing. And I was so upset. I remembered in the ER when I passed out for the 4th time at a restaurant on a Friday night because I could not check out. I was so on edge because of all the crap that was always happening. And I was trying to play defense all the time. I was just trying to catch all these problems that happened before it happened. And it was terrible. Anyways, I got diagnosed with vasovagal syndrome, which just meant that my conscious and subconscious, my nervous system was not resting. So one thing that changed my life was I ended up hiring a coach, and that coach taught me how to build systems within a business. And that completely changed my entire life because I was able to build a system and hire the right people so that now the company operates without me. So I have 6 full-time employees that manage my property management company, and now it runs without me and I don't have to be involved. So the power of a system allowed me to gain freedom. There was just one problem is I didn't have that great of cash flow because I was using a lot of leverage to build my portfolio. So what that meant was I became a multimillionaire in real estate, but I didn't have cash in my bank account. And so then I got to a point where, again, systemized property management, not working within it, but not enough cash. Like, what do I do? And so then what I did is I went into a cash-rich business, which was wholesaling and house flipping. And I started actually flipping houses, and I started doing all the work again. And again, I felt like a chicken with my head cut off, but I was good at it, right? So I was at least doing something I was good at that made money. So that was nice while my portfolio was building. However, I remembered the system thing. And so as I was starting to do all these tasks again, I started to record all the tasks I was doing. And I started to build the system again, just like I had learned to do with property management. And then I started to hire the people that needed to be in the right spots. And so it started with an appointment setter. So the appointment setter would take all the calls. I used to take all the calls and then set the appointments, and then I'd go on the appointments, and then I'd go sell the property, right? It was all these steps. Now we have an appointment setter that comes in and sets up all the appointments. Then I go on the appointment. Yes, I'm still working in the business right there. And then afterwards, I saw that we had Dispo was a big hole. And so we set up a Dispo system. And so now I have my Dispo VA do all of our marketing, all of the messaging for showings, all of the offers gatherings. And then all I do is call the final offer and move forward with them at that point. And so throughout this business, now I've systemized, I probably do 80% of the work is done outside of where I'm at. And it's so freeing, right? Like at this point, I have built the system around, number one, something that's cash rich. Number two, the tasks I enjoy doing. And this is, in my opinion, the second level of freedom where, we all can work, right? But when you start to get to a point where you can plug into the systems that you don't want to do anymore, well, now you can systemize the tasks you don't want to do and just focus on the tasks that you do. And now life becomes pretty fun because you get a good paycheck and you get to do the tasks you want. So I share all of this with you to tell you that, number one, we are all always in a system. And so if you don't know what system you're in, then you're in it. And you need to first understand what kind of system that you are running in to be able to work your way out of that system or plug into the tasks that you want to in that system. And an easy way to do that is to just record your time. Create a task journal, write down 15-minute increments, what you're doing, and then ask yourself, does it give me life? Is it energy giving? Yes or no? And is it money? Like, does it produce money for you? And so the whole goal, at least where I'm at in life, is I want to do tasks that I enjoy, number one, and then tasks that produce money are things I like to do, right? Not all of them, but I'm going to design my life around the stuff that I like to do. So that's number one. The second thing is that life develops in evolutions. And what I mean by that is the first evolution that I had was moving from someone who had no skills and I had to become skillful in a task, right? That was me moving from zero skills and really nothing on the capital society here to becoming good as a salesman. The next evolution was became great as a salesman and then had to learn how to be a manager and set up systems for a business that ran without me. And the next evolution is I built these skills. And I built these skills in a market that was not fruitful. So the next thing is you have to ask yourself, are you in a level 2 opportunity or are you in a level 10 opportunity? And you can ask yourself that right now. Like, where are you at right now? And with the skills that you're building, is it going to lead to the lifestyle that you want? Or do you need to actually change the vehicle that you are in to become and change the dream lifestyle that you want? So that's the evolution of where I have landed in my life. And that's the evolution that I help my students. So I've helped multiple students at this point move from a W-2 job to a business owner, and a business owner that feels like they're running around with a chicken with their head cut off, doing literally all the tasks, not knowing when they can check out from work, hopefully not passing out 4 times from stress, to a business owner that has people in the spots that they need to be so they can just focus on the tasks that they want.